We'll go to Port St Lucie and Jeff Skrzypek, who's been keeping in close touch with law enforcement. Jeff?
Well, Michael, yeah, we're standing here at Darwin and Port St Lucie Boulevard, one of the many areas out there that were locked down today in the search for Christopher Reyna. Joining me live right now, Port St Lucie Police Sergeant Frank Sable to give us the very latest. Frank, what can you tell us? What are you hearing on the scanners? What are you hearing from your fellow officers?
Well, right now we do have an active perimeter, which is from Port St Lucie Boulevard west to I-95 and from Becker Road south to the C-23 canal. Officers believe that we have them locked down in that area, so we are actively searching that whole area. So the residents who are living there, if they are trying to get home or whatever in their normal routine, they may be stopped by an officer to make sure that they live in the area.
Sergeant Sable, what can you tell me about specifically what law enforcement is doing in that neighborhood right now? We have a lot of folks at home that are watching who are actually in that perimeter you just named, and they're wondering what's going on outside their windows.
Well, what's going on right now is we have actually Martin County Sheriff's Department has just deployed a helicopter, and they're assisting us in the search. We have law enforcement K-9 officers on the ground right now doing a search, and the perimeter set up with officers in that area.
What should those folks do if they happen to see this particular person?
Well, first of all, we're not asking anybody to alter their normal routine, but if they do see something suspicious, or if they see this gentleman, he's got a 1986 tattooed on his neck, pretty visible. So if you do see him, do not approach him. Just immediately call 911 and let us know what he's wearing and the direction of travel, and leave him alone.
All right, thank you very much, Sergeant Sable. And again, this is a very big search area, and the one we're standing in right now, just outside the Publix, was actually where this all kind of started. And today we spoke with some of the people who were impacted by that lockdown as authorities were out there searching for their suspect. Police officers, sheriff's deputies, and U.S. Marshals leading the way, flooding the area of Darwin and Port St Lucie Boulevard, locking down neighborhoods and this shopping complex as they search for Christopher Reyna. Investigators say the 27-year-old bailed out of his car after they tried approaching him somewhere along the 1500 block of Payne Street.
K-9s were all over the place, and I don't know, it was crazy. There was cops with machine guns sitting there. It was pretty bad.
Vincent Villardo, who works at a nearby pizza place, pulled out his camera phone and captured the manhunt. They say the 27-year-old convicted thief got away during a transport in Pompano Beach last fall. Investigators believe Reyna had fled north to this shopping area where they believed he was hiding from authorities.
Nice area, man. It's very safe. There's not really much crime going around. I mean, you don't really see things like this. That's why it was really big news to everyone.
It is not clear how Reyna escaped or has stayed on the run for months. A drama playing out moment by moment before residents.
It was crazy. I'd never seen something like that before.
Now, again, police telling us if you do see this particular person, do not approach him. You should take some notes about the direction he is heading in and then call police. Now, Frank, you're going to join us again here so graciously to give us a little more insight. You've been doing this for a while. In a situation like this, what is the one thing that is kind of swirling around law enforcement right now? What is swirling around in their head as they try to apprehend this man?
Well, we just want to bring him to justice and get him off the streets. The best thing that we can get is if somebody does see him. And the tips that come in, no matter what you think, how minor they are, just call us. And that'll give us some direction on where to go if you do see him.
Talk a little bit about that uncertainty. I mean, you have somebody that that you think escaped, and what kind of person are you dealing with out there?
Well, he's pretty elusive. He's been on the run since November, and the federal marshals have been tracking him, which led him to Port St Lucie, and that's when all the officers converged on this area because they were actually right in the neighborhood where he was at, and they saw him, he took off, and on foot, and that's what led us over here.
All right, Sergeant Sable, we're going to let you get back to your work, and hopefully we can get an update from him as this story continues to develop. We'll be out here in Port St Lucie to give you the very latest in the event that they do, in fact, arrest the person they're searching for. Michael and Kelly?
Thank you very much, Jeff. Contact 5 Shannon Kegg's been looking into Reyna's past.
She is here now with that part of our coverage. Shannon.
Well, here's what we know about Christopher Brian Reyna's past. Before busting out of the Pompano Transportation Center back in November, as you just heard the police officer mention there, Reyna served time for some other crimes. According to the Florida Department of Corrections, in 2004, Reyna was arrested for dealing drugs and for possession of a weapon within 1,000 feet of a school. He served a year and a half behind bars for those crimes. Then he went back to jail in late 2011 for grand theft and stolen property charges. He was 1 year into that 3-year sentence when, as you heard, he has broken free. Reyna goes by the name Smokey when he's on the street. Kelly?
Shannon, thank you. We are closely monitoring this manhunt for the escapee, and we will bring you the updates throughout this broadcast and on WPTV.com. Again, if you live near the Becker Road I-95 area of Port St Lucie, right on that border between Martin and Port St Lucie, you are urged to stay indoors and don't approach this man if you see him. Call 911 immediately, or Treasure Coast Crime Stoppers, 1-800-273-8477.
Other news.